We have just gotten the Black Ops 6 Season 4 cutscene, and like we thought was going to happen, Adler breaks Stitch out of prison. Interestingly enough, Maya is actually part of the force breaking him out, which is absolutely hilarious. So I'm going to play the cutscene for you now, and then I'm going to talk about what it means storyline-wise, as well as the new Season 4 information that we've gotten over the last 24 hours. So enjoy.
How copy?
In position. This asshole better be worth all the effort.
He's not. Hudson's intel is our key to the Pantheon puzzle.
If we can't crack those code names, we're never going home.
Pulling the plug in 3.
You took your time.
So there we have it, there is the cutscene, and I'm not going to lie, even though I made a previous video critiquing Stitch returning, as I really do feel like it's cheap storytelling and undermining his character and the point of Black Ops Cold War's post-launch story, it makes sense why he is back. He is so popular. I mean, my upload of the final Black Ops Cold War post-launch cutscene literally is about to hit 1 million views, and especially with him returning, it's probably going to help topple that number. That's when the storyline was at its peak, and Stitch really is the only character, post-launch character, that people have become emotionally attached to, so I get why he's back. Now, before I talk more about Stitch returning in the blog, first of all, I want to go over some new information. So Fringe, which was a multiplayer map in Black Ops 3, is returning in Season 4. This is absolutely wild. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, recently there's been leaked gameplay showing boost jumping and wall running returning in Call of Duty. As you know, wall running will be back in Black Ops 7 COD 2025 later this year, but we hadn't heard about double jumping. It's unclear if this is for COD 2025 or it's for some sort of LTM, because we've had LTMs in the past that have allowed you to boost jump, but this is definitely preparing stuff for COD 2025 in my opinion. But with Fringe returning from Black Ops 3, it makes me wonder if there's going to be a limited time mode in Season 4 that's going to have wall running and boost jumping similar to Black Ops 3, and that's why they're bringing back this classic. Maybe this is gauging the community's feedback, how the community reacts to these advanced movements coming back, to see how much they want to do inside of Black Ops 7. Now, we're still waiting for the full roadmap, but Treyarch have confirmed that it's going to be released tomorrow, and I'll be sure to cover everything here on the channel as well, of course. I'll have a separate video as well talking about the wall running and stuff, because I want to give my opinions on that, but just focusing on Black Ops 6 today. So Adler is back. Adler never shot him at the end of Black Ops Cold War's campaign. Obviously, the point of that cutscene was Stitch went on a massive monologue about how you can't kill an idea, you can't kill an ideology, you can't kill Perseus. It doesn't matter if he dies, their leader, because the previous Perseus leader died of cancer and the Perseus ideology continued. He had planted his sleeper agents, and I do not think they initially planned to keep him alive, because he's facing his back when Adler goes to shoot, you hear the gunshot and then it fades to black, but clearly Adler just shot the ground instead to, I guess, scare him. It doesn't make any sense. I really do not think this was done intentionally, because I think if it was, they would have brought him back earlier in the post-launch story or in Black Ops 6's campaign, considering how underwhelming it is. I think this has been in response to people not feeling. But anyways, Call of Duty have released a blog trying to explain this cutscene, but to be honest, it doesn't make much sense. They never explain why Adler shot, so let's get into it. So they say narrative intel, old enemies, new alliances. Stitch returns to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Warzone. Following a daring jailbreak conducted by his former adversary, Stitch's clandestine resurrection is achieved and he returns to the fray with orders to crack the codes needed to uncover the Pantheon moles. Get the backstory on his intense rivalry turned uneasy alliance with Russell Adler and deploy as the menacing ex-Perseus agent arriving in the Season 4 Battle Pass. So obviously he's the main Battle Pass guy, and it says old enemies, new alliances, the return of Stitch. Victor Stitch Kuzmin has escaped captivity once more, but this time he's been extricated from maximum security detention by his nemesis, Russell Adler, the same operative who imprisoned him in an Icelandic CIA black site prison in the first place. So yeah, instead of Adler killing him, I guess he realized, yeah, Stitch is right, you can't kill an ideology, so what's even the point of killing Stitch? So he just kept him in the backlog for a rainy day when he's needed next. However, at the same time, this also doesn't make sense because it gives room for Stitch secretly communicating things in the background or escaping at some point. I mean, that's probably going to inevitably happen now, so it's just setting them up for failure, and kind of not in the MO of Russell Adler either. As we've seen by him killing Bell, he doesn't want any loose ends. I really think this undermines a lot of their character arcs. These two share a deep history to their rivalry, one they'll have to leave behind them if they hope to accomplish the mission ahead. Prepare to deploy Stitch when he rejoins the fight as part of Season 4's Battle Pass. If you're new to the story, read on for the main events leading up to this dramatic twist in the search for the Pantheon moles before they drop the roadmap tomorrow. So they then recap the Cold War post-launch story, so I'm going to go over it now for those of you who missed it, but in the description I'll also leave a link to all of the Black Ops Cold War post-launch cutscenes as I posted them as a big video last year. Rebirth R&D and Nova 6 production. Scanning intelligence reports, it appears to have started on Rebirth Island, where Stitch was placed in charge of production of the chemical gas Nova 6 in the 1960s. Growing up in the Soviet Union, Stitch was recruited by the KGB after graduating top in his class studying organic substances and pharmaceutical chemistry. Once he proved his skills working within the Laboratory 12 R&D facility, Stitch found himself reporting directly to the villainous Colonel Kravchenko for his new assignment on Rebirth Island. Originally developed by German scientist Friedrich Steiner for use against his country's enemies in World War II, Nova 6 was seized by those within Stitch's sphere of influence after thwarting a planned attack. Picking up where Steiner left off, Stitch pushed the island's facilities to produce countless barrels of the gas, creating a large stockpile of the chemical weapon. The eyes have it. Raid on Rebirth Island. Stitch worked for 3 years producing Nova 6 until his plans were foiled when the CIA uncovered the truth about Rebirth Island's facilities in 1968. Led by Gregory Weaver and Jason Hudson, so interesting Weaver's now mainly a zombies character, the CIA conducted a successful but costly raid on the island. Despite Steiner getting assassinated in the conflict, Adler was able to capture and interrogate Stitch. His efforts proved unsuccessful. However, when Stitch refused to give up more than his name and rank, eager to send a message, an angered Russell Adler gouged out Stitch's left eye, cementing their intense rivalry. A trip to the Gulag. Returning to his homeland, Stitch was found guilty of dereliction of duty for failing to stop the American raid on Rebirth Island. Kravchenko stripped him of his rank and sent him to the Petropavlovsk Gulag, where he left the name Victor Kuzmin behind and emerged as his alter ego Stitch. During his captivity, Stitch stewed in his hatred for the West and even his own country, which abandoned him, and his intense desire for vengeance was used to turn him into an agent of Perseus. Then the chance to exact his desires finally came when a deadly attack on the Gulag left Stitch missing in action, setting the trap. His expertise in the production of Nova 6 and power it offered was not lost. As it was later discovered, Perseus agents were responsible for breaking Stitch free from his imprisonment. Members of an international spy ring composed of rogue military operators under the leadership of a mysterious figure. It wasn't long before the original Perseus died, the previous leader we saw in the campaign for the Cold War, and his protege, Stitch, took command of the group, before finally turning his attention to an old foe. Dropping clues to Adler regarding his return to the fight, Stitch lured the agent to a mall in New Jersey where Nova 6 was secretly being manufactured and stockpiled. He ambushed the agents on site and captured Adler, in a daring scheme to incriminate his old foe. Stitch tried brainwashing Adler using MKUltra techniques while setting his sights on Verdansk. So interesting that we now know Kraft was responsible for all of this. Everything is tied to zombies. Adler, you took your time. Adler was able to escape and dismantled Stitch's operation in Verdansk by detonating explosives beneath the city, after being brought in and deprogrammed by Jason Hudson and Alex Mason in the 11th hour. Adler and the team tracked down his nemesis in the mountainous Custovian terrain and prepared to end their conflict once and for all in Verdansk. After an intense standoff where Stitch revealed the true origins of Perseus, Adler spared his adversary from execution after realizing he would be of more use alive. Instead, he had Stitch incarcerated at a remote black site prison off the grid hidden deep inside the Icelandic interior, tucking him away for a day when Adler might need his particular talents. So yeah, that's why he spared his life. Again, it doesn't explain the dud bullet, the bullet that was just meant for a distraction. I guess it was just meant for an audience trick to us, which is why I really think he was meant to be dead, even though we never saw the character die on screen. And like I said at the start, it doesn't seem like his MO. So as we saw from the season 4 outro, basically, for some weird reason, Adler needs Stitch to decipher an old Soviet cipher, ironic considering we just solved the impossible Easter egg cipher, to clear their name with their affiliation to the Pantheon, which doesn't make any sense at all. This was, I thought, wrapped up by the end of the campaign. I don't even know why they're still implicated or why a cipher would somehow decriminate them. It's a very weird story. And now that day has come, a deal with the devil has been made, as Adler needs Stitch's help to crack the codenames needed to identify and capture the Pantheon moles. So I guess that's what the cipher is for. We need to find who the moles actually are to clear their name. But again, that doesn't necessarily clear their name, because if we find more people implicated, does that confirm they're not implicated? Because it could just be a mole turning in a mole, for all we know. I digress. On screen right now, you can see the Battle Pass skin, so it's going to be this standard skin. You can see the one for Adler, and you can see the one here. We have Yard Dog as well, and Truth Chaser for Adler. They describe them in more detail and the stuff you get with them in the blog, linked in the description. And as a final thing I want to mention is that One in the Chamber is returning as a game mode to multiplayer. Now, I think that this is entirely ironic that they're bringing back One in the Chamber this season when Adler failed to one-shot Stitch in the head. This is clearly an intentional parallel, and I find it absolutely hilarious. But that's all I wanted to talk about for now. We might hear more details with the roadmap tomorrow, and we'll finally find out what's coming in Zombies, probably Grief. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.